After creating your account and logging into ChatGPT, this is the starting screen for non-Plus members. This is the one for Plus members. And as you can see, there are some minor differences, but the core interface is actually the same. Therefore, we'll get started with the non-Plus user here to explore the interface. ChatGPT has two core areas. The first core area is here, this right section in the screen, where we can actually start our conversation with ChatGPT. There we can ask our questions, submit our so-called prompts, and receive our answers, so the output ChatGPT generates. We can simply do this by adding our request, our question, or whatever you want to discuss in ChatGPT in this message box down here. So you can basically ask anything you want, but if you're having a hard time getting started, you can also find some examples up here. If we click one of these examples, the text is automatically added here into our message box, and by pressing enter, we already started our conversation with ChatGPT. The generation of the output can take a few moments, but generally, this is what working with ChatGPT looks like already. You ask a question, you write a so-called prompt, and then ChatGPT outputs the answer inside this specific chat. Talking about chats, this brings us to the second core area of the user interface. In the left column here, we have our so-called chats. Typically, when working in ChatGPT, you organize different projects, different topics you discuss in specific chats. By default, a new chat window was created, and after the first output, ChatGPT automatically comes up with a title for this specific chat. You can, of course, edit the title of this chat by clicking onto this pen symbol, or you can also delete a specific chat by clicking onto this trash symbol and confirming this. You can now either continue the conversation in this chat related to this birthday topic, or you can also continue the conversation with a completely different topic. That's totally up to you. Typically, as I said, you would create a new chat actually, and then, for example, discuss this third example, how do I make an HTTP request in JavaScript? This is a programming related question, but if we click it again, it is again added to the message box, and then by pressing enter, we created our second chat and started our second conversation in ChatGPT. Now important, if I switch to another chat whilst this answer is created and then switch back, you see that this didn't work. So you have to wait until the output was generated to switch to a new chat or to add another question in a specific chat. I can press regenerate response though. This will, as the name indicates, regenerate the response in this specific chat. Now this response was created, so we can now switch back to our birthday party ideas. And now I could continue the conversation with ChatGPT based on the output it generated. For example, the third option, the movie night. There I could ask ChatGPT if it has some recommendations for movies I could watch. So I could say regarding third, can you give me some recommendations? As you see, I don't mention movie recommendations. We'll dive into this in a lot more detail in the next modules. But ChatGPT is a context-aware tool. This means ChatGPT memorizes, so to say, the conversation and the topics discussed in a specific chat. This doesn't work across chats though, so only for the specific chat you are working on. And therefore, we can refer to earlier topics discussed. It is enough to refer to the third option in the list. ChatGPT is context aware. It knows that the third option is a movie night, so I'm referring to movie recommendations here. So if I submit this prompt now, I get some movie recommendations for a 10-year-old's birthday. So this is a first look at chats and how we can start conversations in ChatGPT. We'll explore this in a lot more detail in the next module. There are only some minor things I would like to show you here. One of these are the settings here in the left bottom corner. For the non-Plus members, you get the option to upgrade to a Plus account. And if you click onto your email address, you get some additional options, for example, to clear your conversations. This would delete all your current chats in ChatGPT, and you can also access your settings. There you can change the theme from a dark to a light theme, or you can go to the data controls menu down here. Chat history and training allows you to enable or disable your chat history. This means you will have the different chats stored, and this information will be used by ChatGPT to further train the model. By default, this option is enabled, so if I disable this and check out my chats once again, I see that I basically don't have the option to work in different chat windows. So in my case, I will turn this option on again. You can also export data. This means you can download the currently active chat conversation, so you will get an email with a downloadable file that contains this conversation. And finally, in the data controls, you can also delete your ChatGPT account. Let's go back to the account once again. In there, you can also find a log out option to log out from ChatGPT. Let's now have a look at the Plus version 2 to see where the differences are, and actually we only have 3 core differences. The first one can be found in the account settings down here. There we have this My Plan option now to manage our Plus plan. Besides that, we can also see that in the conversations area, the examples are missing, not a big issue actually. And the third and most important difference is the option to select different models in the Plus version. For the non-Plus version, we can only use a standard predefined model, so to say, which is not as powerful as the ones we have in the Plus version. For this course, we'll use the Plus version now. You can follow along with the non-Plus version, of course, but you will see different and less elaborated results in many cases. In the Plus version, we can not only switch between the different models, we can also enable or disable early access features, like the web browsing feature or the plugins feature. We'll have a look at both of these features in this module. For the recording of this course, we just use the default model. Therefore, as mentioned, you don't need to select a specific model to follow along this course, and you also don't need a ChatGPT Plus membership. Still, we have the choice between these two models in ChatGPT Plus. So what are these models, what are the differences between the models, and which one should I choose? Let's have a look at these questions in the next lecture.